Okay, now let's bring in Vivek Ramaswamy. He's a 2024 presidential candidate and author of Woke Inc. Perfect guy for this story today. Vivek, it's Target, it's North Face now, it's Bud Light, it's the LA Dodgers. They're not relenting. They're not giving up. They're not seeing what happened to Anheuser-Busch. Why not?
Well, look, I think that these executives care less about even the success of the enterprises they run than they do about their own personal popularity on social media or in the circles in which they run. But when it gets so bad for their companies, they then come around. You're seeing that now with Budweiser trying to atone for its sins, now issuing more masculine advertisements again. So they're like sorry, pathetic flags that wave in whatever direction the wind is blowing on a given day. They think the cultural winds are blowing in one direction that'll make them popular. They'll jump like a circus monkey. But actually, if you really pull the profit legs out from under them, then they come back, which means consumers have a lot more power, Eric, than we appreciate. And I think that's a good thing.
I hope we have this in control. Target put out, or someone found this either video or comment by Target high-level Target people saying, do diversity or go work somewhere else. I'm paraphrasing there, but they say if you don't want to be part of the diversity crowd here at Target, there are other places you can go. So now it's not only their customers they're messing with, now they're messing with employees too. This isn't good business practice.
Well, I also think, Eric, that represents a civil rights violation under existing civil rights laws. My view is if you don't want protected classes or the Civil Rights Acts, fine, let the free market work. But as long as you're going to have the Civil Rights Act, you better apply the standards even-handedly. So I wrote about this in Woke Inc. The religion prong of the Civil Rights Act says that an employer cannot force an employee to bow down to their religion. Well, the DEI agenda in corporate America absolutely meets the Supreme Court's test for what counts as a religion. Secular humanism counts, so what? DEI actually counts too. So I've said that as U.S. president, I would actually use the Department of Justice to apply the civil rights laws even-handedly rather than just selectively against one end of the political spectrum. A lot of these viewpoints that you aren't allowed to express, I think that's a civil rights violation, and I'm going to act accordingly.
So we had Bud Light, and they had their Bud Light moment. Now we hear beer officials can't believe this boycott is going on this long and so deep at Bud Light, at Anheuser-Busch. Target was $9 billion and counting. Now North Face. North Face has an ad out now for their gear, their hiking gear, and they're using a trans dude. He's not even wearing any North Face equipment.
It's like literally they're giving away their shareholders' money to advance a social agenda that has nothing to do with the purpose or mission of that organization. Part of the reason why is we have this culture of fear in our country, that if you're not bending the knee to this new trans religion, then you're going to be tarred as transphobic. The same fear that people had after George Floyd died, that you were going to be tarred with the scarlet R of being called a racist. Now, the new racist of this year, the equivalent, is being called transphobic. So this is cowardice. Fear has become infectious, Eric. But I'll also tell you this. I think courage can be contagious, too, if more people just actually step up and exhibit it.
Yeah.
I think this is an opportunity for companies to step up and actually say, you know what, we're going to cater to most of the customers in this country. I think it's a business opportunity. The question is, who's courageous enough to step up and actually capture it?
Let's cater to most of the customers in the country and not cater to less than 2% of the customers in the country. There's a backlash. The LGBTQ or the trans community was boycotting Bud Light. And I said in the monologue, well, they prefer Cosmos anyway. It probably didn't move the needle very much. I wouldn't be seen dead to rights holding a Bud Light can in public, right? Or anywhere for that matter. It's got to be, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Final thought, Vivek.
Well, look, we actually had some fun with it on the campaign. We said Bud Right was the campaign. We said, or campaign koozies. If people want to buy them, ditch your 24-pack and actually just make a donation to a better cause instead. I think that other companies can actually step up into that void. And part of this is by bringing humor to this. I think we can give people courage that they didn't otherwise have. There's 100+ million customers out there who feel rejected. They're spitting in the face of those customers, Target and North Face are. If there's business leaders that are proud enough and courageous enough to step up, the system of free market capitalism is going to reward you. The question is which CEO actually has the guts to do it. You know what? If you do it, I think you're going to profit from it.
Yeah, be the one that steps up first would be really, really refreshing. Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate that, Eric.
Okay, coming up, one of President Trump